Welcome back, my friends, to episode 2 of my TFT hyperroll Lagoon Trilogy, a dragon story. Now, if you clicked on the thumbnail, then you know where this is going. And I guess that's one thing that kind of sucks with YouTube thumbnails, is they sort of give away the ending, but let's all just enjoy the journey together. So, again, I find Lagoons to be one of the strongest, if not the strongest comp for hyperroll this season. And if you're even going to start thinking about going into it, the key item is going to be a tier, because you're going to want blue buffs. Lots of blue buffs, hopefully. But as I said in part 1, even though I have a preference for Lagoons this season, I don't like to just go into it blind. I want to see something. Now, this could have gone Whisperer or Lagoon. It depended what I saw here. And with the blue battery and 2 Lagoons already sitting on my bench, yeah, that was an easy choice, because Lagoons count for casting, blue battery is going to allow you to cast more often, and we're off to the races. Now, as I mentioned in my last video, my goal with Lagoon is not necessarily to win early, it's just to do a lot of casting. So I'm going to want to put out the 3 Lagoon champions that are going to cast most often, not necessarily the 3 that are going to win. I'm willing to sacrifice some early matches if it means more gifts. Now let's see who's been paying attention. What should we choose from these items? I'll give you a few moments to decide. Do you have it yet? Okay, here's a small hint that may help you. Okay, I'm sure most of you figured that out really easily. We want the tier so we can make the blue buff, because casting is so important. We want to cast as often as possible, and the blue buff is going to help that, especially with blue battery. And as I mentioned in the last video, Lagoon rewards are set in stone, in that you are going to get the same type of rewards at the same place. So when this reaches 50, we're going to get a Reforger. When it reaches 600, if we get that far, we're going to get a Tactician's Crown. Other things are a little random, where you get 2 1-star champions or a random item component. I like bringing in Silas when I don't have another Lagoon to put in that spot. Silas is good because he's both a mage and a bruiser. So as a bruiser, he will increase the team's health, and as a mage, once we get Sohm in here, that will give us the 3 mages, so they will cast twice. And again, more casting equals more gifts. And as you can see from the teams we've met so far, Lagoon is very popular. It's time for our next item component, and it's again going to be an easy choice. I'm not going to do the whole stopping and questioning thing. You just grab the tier. Now, had there been a needlessly large rod, I might have gone for that instead, because we do want to get AP into this build in terms of building it up. But from those items, the tier was definitely the choice. And I've mentioned before, I don't usually expect to win early. I was surprised to have lasted this long without losing. Lagoon is not strong early, but you're sacrificing your early game for your late game. It is time for our second augment, and we have the potential for the portable forge, which is always exciting, but runs its own little risks. But in this case, we got the Mana Zane, which is pretty much the best item we could hope for on a Lagoon build, because this is going to allow us to cast a whole heck of a lot. We can go ahead and put that on our newly silvered up Kaisa and let her do a lot of casting. And of course, we run into the obligatory I'm going to kick you across the board build, and it's really, really effective. I have a video on it. I'll put the link up there if you want to see it done. And again, I won't play game show with the items. If you've been paying attention, you know we've been looking for needlessly large rods to help increase our ability power, because it's one thing to cast a lot, it's a whole other thing to have power behind those casts. I've gone ahead and put the Rabadon's Death Cap onto Kaisa, because she will do more damage throughout the match as she fires more pulses later it goes. She keeps increasing until she gets to a maximum of 12, so giving them more power will help her win the match and also give us a lot more casting. We've gone ahead and locked for the Sohm as we head into round 7, so we can actually get up to our full Lagoons and the 3 mages. We also already have a magnetic remover, so I can take the Manazane and the Rabadon's Death Cap and move them from Kai'Sa over to Sohm when the time comes. This team is just tangling us up with the 2 crazy plant ladies in the back and a 3-star gold Nasus up front and able to take us out. For our final augment, we get offered High Tide, and I'm a little torn with it because while it is great to be getting 12 mana per second, it's going to slow down our attacks, and we already have the Manazane and blue buffs, so it's not absolutely necessary, but at the same time, I cannot just pass it up. For the moment, we're going to move Talia off the board, bring in Sohm, and get the items onto him.
I recorded this pre-patch when you would add a champion after the Treasure Dragon. Now you have to wait till the start of Stage 8. It's not a major shift, but it will change things by 1 round in how you set them up.
And in all honesty, watching this back, I should have left Talia in, taken Kai'Sa out, so that I would have had the 3 mages. That way I would have gotten more casts off at this point, because more casts, again, more gifts. So you can see the numbers going up on the side, but they'd be going up faster if each mage was casting twice, because that would have included Talia and Sohm. But we still end up winning, so it's good. Now it is Treasure Dragon time, and what I'm really looking for is a Hextech Gunblade or a way to make one. That way Sohm can be healing at the same time he'll be double casting. I'm getting offered great items. These are fantastic for Lagoon champions, especially that could really increase his power, but we're gonna keep looking. An enhanced blue buff. That could be great. The Infinity Edge, not so much. The Death Blade, the Earth Angel Staff, yes, it could be, but I really want to see if I can get that item. But at some point, you just have to say, you know what, I'm wasting all of my gold. I'll just take what I get and hope that we can win this on sheer power instead of needing the heals. This is also a slightly awkward place for Lagoons. You're 1 champion short of being able to have the 9 Lagoons and 3 mages, which makes it worthwhile. Otherwise, you're losing some power. So this particular round at this moment is often difficult to win. The next NPC was quite nice in giving us lots of items, and then we get one final choice. Nyla is going to be our final person coming in, so we grab the Infinity Edge for her, so when she comes into the fight, she's going to be able to do lots of damage. Since we have a gold 3-star Malphite, we'll go ahead and tank him up a bit more. We put the Jeweled Gauntlet on to Zac just to hold so we can reforge in the hopes of getting something better. Edge of Night will work on Nyla so she won't get completely destroyed in the back line when she's killing things. If you watch the seashell on the left, you will see the amount of casting increasing very quickly, especially with that Manazane on Sohm and the double cast each time. It's going up fast, and the extra AP is allowing us to stay ahead of the competition. And now that we're up to stage 9, you can see the whole thing come together, even against the Thunder Kick team that's going to beat you all over the board. You can see the additional casting along with the 9 Lagoon, which gives you increased attack speed and AP power, is enough to take them down. We get to our final item choice, and if I had not already put 3 items onto Silas, I would have grabbed the Lagoon emblem because it would have meant, well, more casting. But there's a blue buff there, so we can take the blue buff and put it onto Talia. We had switched it off of Talia onto Kai'Sa because her casts are more powerful. At this point, we are so close to that gold Sohm. We just need one with the champion duplicator, and bang, we got ourselves a 3-star gold dragon. Now, normally I speed up all the fights before the top 4. You'll see why I don't bother speeding this one up. Sohm can take out a team in about, 8 seconds? Yeah, 8 seconds with a huge amount of damage. Granted, we are running 2 Rabadon's Death Caps, one of which is enhanced, and a Manazane, but it got us into the top 4. Now remember, when you get to 600, you are going to get a Tactician's Crown. So I'm going to be able to get an additional player onto this board. So it's also time to start thinking about who you might want that to be as you look through possible choices while you're rolling. When given an opportunity like this, I usually look to fill it out with a Soraka so I can get the additional healing. Once again, you can watch Sohm just absolutely rip through the team. The next key number is going to be when we cross 600 casts, but we're actually finishing them off too fast to get enough casts in, and again, huge amount of damage, all to our golden dragon. At this point, I don't think I'm going to get to see a Tactician's Crown because this team we should be able to get through in just a few seconds with Sohm providing this much power. And the answer is 10 seconds exactly, and a huge amount of damage, again, to the golden dragon. Make sure to look for the third video in the Lagoon trilogy coming very soon, where you'll see one more twist on Lagoon. Hope you enjoyed the video and have an absolutely awesome day.